Hello everyone. My name is Kamlesh Savdekar. In this presentation, my friend Ayush Loda and I will walk you through the research paper, a risk-based approach to flood management decisions in a non-stationary world. Before we start, let me give you an overview of this research paper, whose authors are Anna Rosna, Richard M. Vogel, and Paul H. Kirshen. In this paper, researchers investigate for a risk-based approach for flood management decisions in a non-stationary world. The main objective of this research paper is to combine the trend hypothesis test results with adaptations infrastructure, cost and damages avoided to provide a rational decision approach in a non-stationary world. This will be done by estimating type 1 and type 2 errors followed by risk-based decision making for predicting avoidable cost. These are the sections that we will be covering in this presentation. Starting from motivation, that is what is actually the problem addressed. Next is null hypothesis significant testing, NHST, which is old traditional method, and we will discuss how it does not get us complete solution. Further, we will look into methods like risk-based decision making and its mathematical approach, which authors believe should replace traditional method. Then we will look into case study of Mystic Village mentioned in the paper. Finally, we will end with conclusion and limitation. So, beginning with motivation. Traditional approaches to flood management in a non-stationary world begins with a null hypothesis test of having no trend. No one cares on the possibility that there might be some trend and ignore it even if it existed. Stakeholders are poorly served by decision methods which do not carefully consider both over and under preparation errors. The criterion of expected recurrence is found out to be a useful metric by the researchers which integrates the statistical, economic and hydrological aspects of the flood management problem in a non-stationary world. Now we will begin with null hypothesis significant testing, NHST. The statistical analysis of a null hypothesis is termed as null hypothesis significance testing, NHST. To understand this, we need to know about type 1 and type 2 errors. So, concluding a trend exists when it does not is a type 1 alpha error, and rejecting a trend when it does exist is type 2 beta error. So, the physical implication of type 1 error is over preparedness, which involves wastage of money on unneeded infrastructure. The physical implication of type 2 error is under preparedness, involving flood damages due to inadequate measures. The problem with NHST is that it focuses only on type 1 error alpha under stationary conditions. The type 2 error is often neglected. Researchers say that underpreparedness have largest impacts on society and may lead to disturbance of life and property at huge scale. Hence, the paper recommends use of both errors in decision making and emphasizing each error in different cases for statistical analysis. This paper suggests two possible approaches to integrate trend hypothesis test and probability analysis into a decision framework. First is derive a new suite of hypothesis test so that H0 is the case of trend and HA is case of no trend, in which case the type 1 error corresponds to the outcome with the most serious impacts. Second approach is H0, keep H0 as the no trend hypothesis and estimate the type 1 and type 2 errors and use both error probabilities in evaluating statistical evidence for the trend. According to this paper, researchers conclude that second approach is more plausible. Now we will talk about risk-based decision making. This approach is favored by authors over NHST. It is a well-established methodology that determines appropriate levels of infrastructure based on the expected damage avoided versus the cost of infrastructure required. For example, US Army Corps of Engineers recommend that flood damages reduction studies are to be conducted using an analytical risk-based approach, calculating expected performance including the use of stage damage function, a probability display of benefits and cost, and residual damages. All in one, the goal of RBDM is to choose a level of infrastructure protection that minimizes the total expected cost, which is a sum of the cost of infrastructure and of the expected residual damages. Here, both graphs show when protection level or height of wall is low, which is condition of underpreparedness, or when protection level or height of wall is high, which is condition of overpreparedness. In both the condition, there is some cost incurred. RBDM helps us to find out where the minima lies and thus detect the most optimum solution. If traditional decision-making process in a non-stationary world, following are the process highlighted. First step, a hypothesis test is performed and statistical significance alpha of the trend is estimated. If alpha is a pre-specified critical value, usually is 0.05, then the economic analysis is performed to evaluate the plan. If alpha exceeds the critical value, the trend is dismissed and the economic analysis is not performed. If the hypothesis indicate that there is no trend, the consequences of underpreparation would not be considered in an analysis. Hence, the paper here critiques the traditional approach. This paper gives much stress on finding expected regret. Therefore, it becomes important to define it. Expected regret is the expected cost of avoidable damages if we underprepare, and the expected cost of unneeded infrastructure if we overinvest. Expected regret integrates first statistical uncertainty and potential consequences of a trend if it exists.
So beginning with mathematics and methodology. Here, paper shows one of the interesting studies of employing ladder of power. In this method, we play with powers of x and y and try to linearize the non-linear trends. By going up in ladder of power, we get x square, x cube, etc. And by going down in the ladder, we get ln x, root x, etc. Here, paper employs linear model for characteristic trends in flood levels. We can consider natural logarithm of annual maximum flood series as function of time. So we get ln y equal to ln q equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon, where q is annual maximum flood and beta naught beta 1 are regression coefficients. The fitter model takes form y equal to ln q plus b naught plus b1x, where parameters b naught and b1 computed from time series of length n. Now let's move to type 1 error. Here we define type 1 error as alpha equal to 1 minus ft, where f is cumulative distribution function of students t random variable with n minus 2 degrees of freedom. Here t is b1 upon standard deviation of b1, where b1 is OLS estimate of trend slope. So let's move further. In the graph, we see H0 as the null hypothesis and HA as the one-sided hypothesis. In H0, light shaded region belongs to alpha, and in HA, the dark shaded region belongs to beta. Previously, we defined alpha equal to 1 minus ft. Now let's see how to define beta. We define for defining beta, we define beta 1 as true trend slope. So we get t dash equal to t1 minus alpha n minus 2 minus beta 1 upon standard deviation of beta 1, which similarly follows students t random variable distribution with n minus 2 degrees of freedom, so that type 2 error probability is simply beta equal to ft dash. Let's move further. Here we convert beta 1, standard deviation of beta 1, epsilon, standard deviation of epsilon into standard deviation of x, y and correlation of xy. The intuition behind is that the correlation of xy can be directly obtained from the fitted model. So finally we get equation of beta equal to f t1 minus alpha n minus 2 minus delta root n. Moving from mathematics, we derive some of the important conclusions from the beside graph. From the graph, we can understand that alpha and beta are inversely proportional to each other. Since we know that their relationship only depends on values of n and rho. Alpha is probability of over investment and beta is probability of under investment. By inverse relation, it is known that if probability of over investment decreases, then of under investment increases. For decreasing the A and B, we have choice of either decreasing N or Q. If we increase value of Q, which means we have to wait for more years for getting more data points, which might be too late. It is not a good idea to do analysis by keeping the city or locality in risk of flooding, because there might be some chances of observing trends in flood. Only option we are left with is increasing the value of rho by improvement in our ability to perform trend detection and attribution and prediction. Now here we see decision tree analysis to find expected regret of over investing and under preparing. Here we are left with two choices of detecting and adapting. If we choose yes, we have to face the cost of adaptation, which is A. If there are trend in surges, then the statistical probability is 1 minus beta and damage according to is D1. If there is no trend, the statistical probability corresponding to is alpha and the damage is defined as D2. So we get cost of regret in this condition as A plus D2 minus D4. If we choose to go no, if there are trends in storm surges, the statistical probability of under preparation is beta and we get damages as D3. And if we choose no, we get statistical probability as 1 minus alpha and the damage corresponding to is D4. And cost of regret is D3 minus D1 minus A. So expected regret is alpha into cost of regret in case 1 of S, and expected regret in case 2 when we are not adapting is beta into cost of regret. Expected regret of over investing equal to total cost of adaptation plus total expected damages without increase with adaptation minus total expected damages without increase without adaptation into statistical probability of type 1 error, that is alpha. Expected regret for under preparing equal to total expected damages with increase without adaptation minus total damages with increase with adaptation minus total cost of adaptation into beta, which is type 2 error. Let's move further. In this case study, the authors have chosen to apply their analysis for coastal protection in village of Mystic in Groton City. Upon the application of above mentioned decision tree analysis, following are the results. We can see here the results. The values are substituted and we get the values by putting into the mathematical equations. So let's move further. Here in the above graph, we can see that the simple exploration function is fitted to the damage and storm surge elevation data and used for interpolation to estimate damages of intermediate sized events. Here in the above graph, we can see that damage versus exceedance probability in two scenarios of adaptation with hurricane weather. Exceedance probability is probability of alpha exceeding the critical value, and in this case critical value is generally 0.05. So let's move further. It shows that expected regret of over preparation is around 2,49,000, while the expected regret of under preparation is close to 3 times greater than that, which is $6,85,000. We can understand this disparity from statistical probability estimations, where we observe that cost of regret of underinvestment is significantly higher than of overinvestment. Paper here suggests stakeholders to adapt and take relevant measures as soon as possible. In contrast, using the traditional net benefits approach, one normally either first accepts or rejects the increasing trend in storm surge heights and then considers the damages avoided less cost of body adaptation. Here, we obtain expected net benefits under stationary and non-stationary conditions of $2.2 million and $1.4 million respectively. Since probability of type 1 error of trend shown was higher than 0.05, engineers would normally dismiss the possibility of non-stationary conditions under these circumstances and thus conclude not to build the hurricane barrier, since the net benefits are negative under the stationary conditions. Hence, we can see the importance of including statistical probabilities which saved the city. Moving to the concluding, this research has given an excellent output, which is calculation of expected regret, which would help stakeholders to a huge extent for taking decisions on basis of trend detection and as well as economical analysis. We can see how the conditional probability give us luxury to take decision in Mystic City case study. Paper shows various scopes of improvement. The trend detection analysis can be performed by using non-parametric trend detection method, and also it says to distinguish these trends from natural climatic cycles and a clear, independent and unbiased trend analysis. The paper suggests that we can use better models. Instead, the paper used here was the linear regression, which was a simple one. It would help to get better correlation between x and y, since we have understood from the conclusion that a better correlation coefficient would decrease the probability of both overinvestment and underinvestment. Here are our references, and thanks to Professor Udit Bhatia for helping us in our project. Thank you very much.